Hi guys, this is Fan Confessions, the podcast of two fans, two friends, and the K-Wave. Hi, I'm Lisa.
I'm Stephanie.
And welcome to the place where we share our love of all things K-pop and our personal experience as fans.
So I am super excited for today's episode. Lisa will know we had a phone call about it a couple of days ago because I was so excited. So we are going to be talking about biases this week, which I know is like a coveted topic among all K-pop fans and probably like fans of any kind of genre. Like I know it's a K-pop word, bias, that often is thrown around, but it could apply to a lot of different fandoms, I think. So yeah, our main topic today is going to be ultimate biases and just biases in general. So for the new K-pop fans or people tuning in here that don't know what a bias is. So basically in a group, like this is what I guess I consider it, is a person that I seem to be gravitated towards the most. So anytime I watch a music video or I listen to the song, my eyes like immediately go to them, or I'm the most impressed by them, or they get me the most excited. And then usually I learn their name right away, and basically everything they can do, they can't do any wrong. That's what it is to me. The ultimate bias part about it is, I guess it's like no matter how many groups you listen to or anything like that, they're always kind of at your top. And yeah, nothing ever wavers it, because there is the term called bias wrecker, which I don't know if all of you are familiar with that too, but there's definitely some people that compete in that same realm that like might take your attention away. But to me, a true ultimate is like they don't take, like no one can take the attention away from them, and they're like, yeah, no one can ever top what they do. So that's what it is to me. But Lisa, what do you think? How do you pick your biases?
Well, very similar. You pretty much covered a lot of the main points. I think for me, an ultimate bias is somebody, like you said, who can't do any wrong. No matter what comeback it is, they're the one that you're gravitating towards. They're the one that you're just like, they're just perfect in every way. I guess that's the whole idea of an idol. It's like a little somebody that you're just so impressed by. I think in terms of like alts and wreckers and stuff like that, wreckers are for me are like fun because there's somebody that just like they take you by surprise and you felt like you underappreciated before, but like, oh yeah, they're pretty awesome too. But the bias, the first and the ultimate, is going to be the one that holds your heart forever in a day.
Something else I thought about when we're talking about biases here is I think that's one of the things that made me love K-pop so much, because I don't know about you, but it is so fun watching a music video for the first time, or seeing a new group. And because there's so many members, like trying to figure out who you love the most, or like that discovery stage, is probably the most fun I've had in a really long time. And I mean, I think that's why us as like 90s or 80s kids, like that we we had that nostalgia with boy groups and girl groups as a kid, and it's like I get to relive that over and over and over and over again.
I know, it's like
I love it.
we get to stay young no matter like how long we're into so like this great genre of music is giving us a whole new like
It's a lease
rebirth,
like
yeah, exactly, a little bit of like
childhood.
energy boost.
Totally. But yeah, so like the bias game is always so fun. And then when you start to have friends like with Lisa and stuff, like I was super excited for this episode because it's like we talk about it kind of on a regular basis, but we don't really like sit down and compare notes or anything. So this will be the first time that we're kind of doing that. And so I think it'll be really fun.
Okay, so we thought we'd start off with revealing our ultimate biases, both male and female, because we got a little bit of equal representation here. So I'll start with mine. So Steph knows this very, very well, but my ultimate male bias would have to be Park Jimin of BTS, and there's no doubt everything he does is just magical and beautiful for me. And everything he can breathe, and I think it's art.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know when, like, I guess when he became my bias. I don't know, like, because we in our very first episode, you guys may recall, if you haven't, then you should watch it. I sort of described like blood, sweat, and tears, and it being like that moment, that awakening moment for me when I became a K-pop fan. And I think Jimin had a lot to do with that. I don't know if it was that at the beginning, or if it was the epic shoulder reveal partway through. But I think definitely he was high on the list in my, like, I gotta watch this guy more in the beginning. So I think that was the beginning of my fascination with that man, and it continues strongly today.
Yeah, I remember us talking pretty heavily, and well, no, you told me about the shoulder jacket thing, and I don't know how I missed it. And I remember going rewinding and going back and being like, holy crap. Like, this is, like, of course he just does it so casually, like it's no big deal. Like he never practiced it a million times, or it was like, oops, total accident. I don't know. But I agree with you.
He claims it was an accident.
I
But I
know.
think the other members
Like,
are like, you
okay.
totally did that on purpose, bro.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't know. He is, yeah, he's pretty up there for me as well. I didn't, you know what? I can't slot him as an ultimate because there's some people in that group that keep changing my mind. But it's hard not to love him. He's so amazing. I agree with you.
So how about you? Your turn. Who's your first up?
Okay, so before I really get into my bias, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about a confession I have. And this one's kind of embarrassing, but Lisa knows it already.
It's okay, just own it, share it with the world.
Yeah, outside of a bias list, I have a boyfriend list. I was like, oh God, a 30-year-old with a boyfriend list. But hear me out, okay? There's nothing overly creepy about it. So it's kind of like, if you with your significant other, you have a list of celebrities that are on your like, it's okay kind of list. Like if they happened, like whatever happened in the world and they appeared in front of me, I would have permission to do whatever I wanted. And so my boyfriend has a list as well, I'm sure, of people that I'm okay with, but this is my list. And that there's certain things they have to tick off in order to be on the list. It's not just about looks, people. There's certain things, and the boyfriend list is usually like ones I could imagine that I'd actually want to be my boyfriend.
We have standards.
Yeah, there's certain standards. And then Lisa will also know they are numbered. So and the numbers don't move, so once they're like solidified in a certain number in the list, they stay there.
Although there was some doubt earlier, we were discussing
yes, we were discussing this because the controversial part here is that my ultimate bias is actually number 2. His boyfriend number 2 on the list. So okay, so to give you context, number 1 is Younghwa from CN Blue. But I fell in love with him not because of CN Blue, but because of the drama You're Beautiful. And then they had Heartstrings after that. He was basically my first second male lead syndrome of like, I just fell in love with him, and I thought he was so handsome and so charming, and my heart just went out to him, and I loved his voice. So he was number 1 just because he was like, I think the first Korean actor idol. I don't know, I was fascinated with him. And he's what created my boyfriend list.
Yeah, he started it all.
Yeah, so he stays at number 1. I mean, he is aging very gracefully, and he still is well deserving at number 1.
Yeah.
So then number 2 is my ultimate bias. So J-Bomb from GOT7 is
J-Bomb.
Yes. Lisa would never be so surprised by this. I think he's been my ultimate forever. I mean, as long as she's known I liked K-pop, he's always been at the top for me. Nothing ever wavers with this guy. Like, I mean, oh God. So like outside of his looks, and then, just tack on absolutely amazing singing. I have a thing apparently for leaders of groups. So I love that when they like nurture all the other members. And I just absolutely adore that. With him too, like I am just a general music lover. And I feel like he is as well. And seems super serious about his music career. And so I just really admire that. And I admire his talent and his drive. And also he has like a kind of a little bit of that I don't care about what anyone thinks kind of thing. Like now he's starting to do the like piercings and stuff. And like, I don't know, it's super attractive, but outside of it being attractive, I think it just wears well on his personality. And so
in terms of a bias can't do any wrong. You guys, so Steph has objections to a certain hairstyle, the mullet.
Yes, majorly.
But when JB had a mullet, she was okay with it.
Yeah, if there was anyone that was gonna make it look good, he could do it. And so it wasn't my favorite JB hairstyle, but I don't know, I can't hate him for it. I can't. And he keeps doing it over and over again to me, but I live with it. I love him that much. I'm okay with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he made it all better with like, so it's funny. I never really cared or found guys attractive that had longer hair. And then when they came back and he had the long hair, but it wasn't a mullet, okay, that changed my mind completely. I was like, yep, I'm converted now. there's no going back there. So
yeah.
But I am like a little bummed that GOT7's officially left JYP. Not that because they left, but I really hope that they can continue to make music together the way they want to. I'm super excited for whatever he has to come up next. Like I loved his offshore side project he did as Def. So that's like his side name, I guess. And I don't know if he's going to use that for the rest of his solo career, but very excited to see where he
definitely
goes.
As a producer, but yeah, it's exciting to see what's coming up next for them.
Exactly. So it's super fun. But yeah, that's my big secret.
Yeah. So now it's time for the ladies. So back in the day when I was first being introduced to K-pop by Steph, and I was just sort of complaining about like how I didn't think the girl groups were as good as the guy groups, and she's like, well, there's this group called Mamamoo, and she's like, you have to watch this, and like they're amazing vocalists, and one member in particular got my attention just because I thought she was just a little extra sassy, and that was Hwasa. So Hwasa is just this powerhouse singer, and she's got this great attitude, and basically I want to be her when I grow up. So
I wrote the same thing, Lisa. When I talked about her, I wrote exactly the same thing. I'm like, she's older than me, but I'm older than her, and I want to grow up to be her somehow. Why?
And she is so cute and she is so natural. And I watched the show Home Alone, the reality show that she's on, and she is just like in her no makeup, no bra, laying on the couch in blankets, and I'm just like, goals. To do that and still be able to be a kick-ass artist on the stage and just be so comfortable with yourself and real.
Yeah. She's very mature, I find, or something about her. Like when I found out later that she was I think she's the youngest in the group,
she's
right?
The youngest, yeah.
Yeah. And her actual age, I was like, wow, like it's very impressive. She just comes off as way more mature than I would ever have thought she like with her age. So yeah.
So she just makes me happy no matter what she does.
I could see that. I mean, and then too, like, I don't know, I like to compare her to like, she's kind of like that Beyonce-esque feel about her when she's on stage, especially in these later years and at the award ceremonies and stuff. And like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, she just like gives it. And like, I don't know. And I feel like she's positive body image too. Like she's not a super thin, like, not that, I mean, being naturally thin is fine too, but she's got natural curves and she shows them
Well,
off, and I
well,
love it.
exactly. When she was a trainee, she was basically told that she was too fat to be an idol.
Just
And
crazy.
I know. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to change the standard of beauty because I'm darker skinned.
Yeah.
I got some booty, and like, you can't stop me. I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve, and you're all going to like it.
And we definitely do.
We definitely do.
And so that's a good lead in actually into my bias, because I feel like we actually have a lot of similarities between them. So I love Hyolyn, and so she is also a curvaceous, dark-skinned woman, and she is a powerhouse as well vocally, and she's also a great dancer. But she definitely too shows off her curves. I know she has had criticism about her skin as well. I think she's absolutely gorgeous. Like, she to me is one of the most beautiful idols I've seen, including like especially with her voice topped onto that. So I loved her way back when with Sister. I remember Sister 19 came out, which, oh man, if I butcher the name of this song, it's like Gone, Not Around Any Longer, something like that. The English title is a little funny sounding. But her voice is just so silky and airy, and I've always like it just pulled me in immediately. She's done so many collabs I really love. Yeah, and then later, like I feel like she's also the queen of summer. Like if she releases a song in the summer, best know that I'm gonna love it and I'm gonna like have it on repeat forever. Like with her and Sister, like I felt like Sister was the summer group too. But her by herself, she's also done that over and over and over again. The other thing I find about her voice is she has such an emotional tone to it that really draws me in too, that I just like really like when she wants to be sorrowful, I feel it 100%.
Yeah, she's got a lot of soul.
Yeah, and I absolutely adore her, and I just think she's a beautiful personality. And yeah, I really hope she comes back soon. I feel like we are just saying, it seems like it's been a little while since we've seen her. And she kind of does, I find it's like a couple of months plus a little bit more, and then all of a sudden she comes out with another song. So I hope she's just working on something great for us, and we'll see her very soon. Now we're going to get into what I'm calling our little rapid fire game. So Lisa and I are huge multi-stands. So the idea that we could only talk about 4 biases on this episode was not going to happen. We wanted to express a little bit more than that. But instead of just like talking on end forever, we decided to make a game out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to list out a group, and then the other person's going to try and guess what the other person's bias is. So Lisa's going to try and guess who my bias is and vice versa. And we're going to see if it'll make us laugh a little bit. I mean, some are going to be super obvious. But some of when we made this list, I was like, oh, actually, I don't really know. Like I can guess as best as I can, but
I had to think a little hard about a couple of them.
Right. So I think it'll be fun. And then the other person's going to reveal actually who their bias is. And I think it's going to be a fun time. So preface, this is a long list, so we'll try not to go too crazy.
We've had to condense it a couple times for you folks, or else it would have been a very long episode.
More than a couple times, I want to say. So, but these are the ones we are most, so I wouldn't say they're the groups that we necessarily love the most, but they're the groups that we both are confident in knowing all the members, and that we feel like we could give a good guess about who they are. So and if we missed anybody, you tell us, and we will more than definitely talk about it.
Oh yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Let's go.
Let's start with group number 1, Ikon. So this one is actually pretty easy start for Lisa here, because Steph has expressed her love for this individual quite often, and very to some extent. So I will say BI.
Oh, you were wrong.
I'm wrong?
You're wrong.
No way!
I feel like I betrayed my bias by this being wrong. Okay, so first of all, explain why you chose BI.
Okay, so Steph has mentioned a little earlier that she has a thing for leaders.
Mhm.
She has a thing for vocalists, but also main rappers.
Uh-huh.
Well, basically, Steph likes everything. But,
Pretty much.
but her bias lists tend to have certain traits. So
Okay.
I was just like, it has to be Bi because she loves him just so much.
Oh.
Who is it?
Okay, so he's my bias wrecker, for the record. So this is very funny. I thought I've talked about this with you, and I did not, apparently.
No.
So Jinhwan is my bias because,
I
okay,
thought it was the other way around. I thought Jinwon was
no,
your bias wrecker.
no, because I loved Kate. So I love Jinhwan from the series when they were trying to make the group still.
Oh yeah, like
I
who's
fell in love
next?
with him because of, so I love how he's the oldest person in the group, yet he is treated like the maknae and acts like the maknae. And even he's older by a bit. Like,
Yeah.
that's, I feel like it's so cute. And I adore how they all like just tease him and everything. And then also he's just so soft sometimes that I can't like get enough of it. Like on the show, I remember, I think they all pulled a prank on him where they pretended they were actually fighting about something and they weren't. And he got so sad. And so upset, and I was just like, and he started crying, and I was, oh, I just wanted to protect him. But so I love him. I love how he's small. I also love his he thinks he's like the sexiest thing on the planet. And tries
some
really
confidence.
hard, but he's just so cute. Like it doesn't come across that way, but he wins in my heart 100% all the time. I also love his voice, but yeah, no, he is my favorite, and Bi is up there for sure. There's a lot of
shocked.
card contenders in that group, I will tell you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lisa,
I'm
you got that
shocked.
wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Okay, so now you gotta guess mine.
yeah, we'll see if I get it wrong.
I want to see this.
So Lisa loves rappers and certain voices, so I picked Bobby because I feel like she's talked to me about him a lot, and whenever he does solo stuff, she's make sure to share it with me. So that's my guess. Am I right?
No.
Oh my god, this game is gonna be funnier than I think.
Oh, we are so off to a really bad start.
Are we best friends? I don't know.
I know. I don't know. I'm starting to question life in general.
Okay.
Actually, it's Chunwoo.
What?
It's Chunwoo.
I never guessed. Okay.
I know, because I just feel like I really love an underdog, and I never feel like he gets nearly enough parts in the songs. And
Okay, that's fair.
He's like the maknae, but he's just I don't know. I love it. Bobby is a very strong second run.
Okay. I thought you loved, I mean, well, everyone loves Bobby though. I mean, it's hard not to love him. So I will say my favorite Chanwoo moment with Bi. Do you remember when he was bugging him about ice cream and he was just constantly calling his name? Chanwoo.
No, I want chocolate ice cream.
Yeah, exactly. Just totally ragging on him.
We were testing if he would be a good maknae or not.
Exactly. Yeah. So Ikon was a perfect way to start this because I think we both really love them. If you do not stand them, so I'm excited to see them on Kingdom, and how I explain them to my fiance who's going to watch this with me, which is kind of crazy, is that because he was like, oh, I don't think their energy is as good, and I'm like, Richard, they are the most charming group ever. Like I think that's where they always win for me. It's their charm, and they're all like so very unique and stuff. So Ikon is a fantastic group to stand. Number 2 is going to be Ateez. So I feel like I have a little bit of an edge on this one for guessing Lisa's because we kind of talked about this already in prep for talking about them on another episode. So, but I still want to, okay, so I am decided that Lisa loves them all equally, and she hasn't picked one officially yet, is what I'm understanding. However, I feel like she's gonna be not gonna be starting. We've kind of talked about her leaning towards Jungho. So I'm gonna say he's like a little bit ahead, but not enough to like make it substantially a bias.
Oh.
But but so I say
Well,
she loves all of them, I guess.
I do I do love all of them because I've admitted that I don't have an official bias in Ateez yet, even though like I adore them completely. And Jungho is very much high up there because he's just like Mr. Talent himself. But actually, my bias, if I was going to have a bias, it's probably closest to Mingi.
Oh, okay. I would have guessed him as a bias
Yeah.
wrecker. So yes, I guess that makes sense. So she likes deep voices, so I should know better. That Mingi was an obvious choice.
I like me some gravelly voice rappers, and plus he's just a big goofball.
Yes, he is. I have missed him severely this past comeback. I hope he comes back to us soon and healthy and
well and 100%. We'll be patiently waiting for when he's ready.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, my turn.
So, this is a real hard one.
We say that sarcastically. We need like the upside down smiley face right now because it is 100% Jungho.
Yes. I don't hide this one. This one I talk about a lot. Just as I don't know, I adore him. He's so cute. And two,
like his voice.
His voice is just like, I don't know how you can't listen to them and appreciate him. Like, I think he's one of the best voices in K-pop, hands down. Like,
there you go.
I don't know. I'm just constantly impressed with him. It's
so needs to be said
with them and like kept me like listening. I also really adore his sense of humor. So if you ever watch any of their shows, like I guess outside variety stuff, he always just makes me laugh really hard. And
he's got a very like deadpan kind of.
Yeah. He has I don't know, there was like this one video I'm thinking of where they were doing like relay dances and then he gets a sexy dance and then he somehow pulls it out like it was no big deal. Or like he just, it surprises me sometimes in a good way and it's funny. Or was the other one, like, because they always tease him about his strength and we talked about the breaking fruit, but like there was one he like legitimately went under one of the members' legs and like lifted him up on his shoulders and stuff. Like, I don't know, I find him hilarious and adore him 2 bits.
Okay, next up on our list, which is again in no particular order, we have the one, the only, the BTS. So me and Steph have talked about BTS quite a bit. So I'm thinking I know this one pretty, like I have a very, very strong idea that it is the one, the only J-Hope.
Yeah, Hobie. Which it wasn't always Hobie. So that's why I say with Jimin, it's hard because I feel like Jimin was my number one for such a long time. But I don't know. Hobie got into my heart so hard. Like his sunshine and just his personality wins me a million times over.
Yeah.
And I can't ever knock him. He's an amazing dancer. And then on top of it all, like I feel like some people would criticize his rap a little bit, but I actually think he's my favorite rapper in the group too. Like,
he's very swaggy.
Yeah, I love his flow. He is like a little bit more lyrical about it, and I just really, 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 really love it. And my fiance is also a Hobie fan, so we were like together on it, and so we definitely like to fanboy and fangirl over him a little bit whenever they come back. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lisa's is super obvious, obviously, since we just discussed her ultimate.
Yeah, exactly.
It is hands down Jimin a million times over. And so funny you talked about the flip of the jacket. So if I was tend to identify when you loved him, I thought it was that moment because you had to tell me and you were super impressed about it. So
I was like, look at him do that.
He was super into it. So I wouldn't like think anyone else owned that era better than him either. I mean, they were all beautiful, but that was definitely his time. Okay, so 17 is up next. There's a lot of members to choose from in 17. Lisa knows how much I love them, so I think she'll just know this one. But for her, we haven't actually, I don't think we've talked about it really a lot. I was using my detective skills to try and figure this guess out. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say Wonwoo because I feel like he's a rapper. He's got a deep voice. And I don't know, like he can be cute, but then he's got kind of that stoic. I don't know. I just that's my final answer. Wanwoo. No?
No, it's Vernon.
Oh, okay. At least in the rap line, I was right about
Yeah.
that part.
Very good. Good job.
Okay, so why Vernon?
So Vernon, just because he is just so smart. He sings, he raps, and like he was one of the first people that I recognized his face very easily because
he's very unique looking compared to
man is beautiful. Because
he's very pretty.
Yes, he's very pretty and he's very like recognizable. So I like very unique faces. So like that was the main thing for me. And plus like I also saw him on a show where he tutored fans.
Oh, nice.
And he's just so smart and just like he cared about the fans so much. So it was just like he's just so sweet. I love him. But for Steph, so we're going on the leader theme again.
Okay.
S cups. Scoops.
Yes, scoops. That's part of why I loved it so much, is hearing that in the songs. I love him so much. He is adorable. Again, I don't know. He's such a good leader. He takes care of everybody so well. He's just, his rapping is so good, but it's mainly just who he is and his whole package. His face, it's just so cute. And charming. And when he smiles, I'm like, I could not. How can you not smile when you see him smile? It's so charming. I love him. And just how he takes care of everybody. And I don't know. My heart went out for him when he took a little bit of a break, but I was actually very glad he did so and that he didn't burn himself out. So when they did Left and Right, I think it was one of my happiest moments seeing him on stage again. And he would look so happy. So I was just like, I was super happy for him. So yeah, he'll always be one of my favorites in my heart.
Next up is one of my personal favorites, Stray Kids. So I've been working Steph into the Stray Kids kingdom for some time now. And so it was fun for me to try. It was a bit of a guess, but it was fun for me to try and figure out who might be up there for Steph.
I'm curious who you think actually, so we'll see.
So I was caught between two actually, and I'm still a little unsure, but I think it's either Lino or Sungmin.
Okay, totally wrong.
Am I so off?
Yeah, because I was between two and it was not them. But I mean, I am appreciating Lino a lot more now actually than I did before, but no.
Who is it? I'm curious.
Okay.
Who is it?
Han is my favorite.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
Is it dawn on you now?
Yes.
God's Menu. I was like, this is locked in. His part in God's Menu, I probably have rewatched a cajillion times. Like, I don't know, the cutting thing and the way the camera worked and his rapping, I can't get enough of it. And then it's part of I didn't think he was mine, but then I realized when I looked back at their other songs that he was always my favorite. And so I was like, it was him. So that was my thing. And then he's also just super charming, cute smile, everything. Felix was the one that was on the fence for me too, because Felix was my favorite in the beginning. I think he's pretty much one of a lot of people's favorites. It's hard not to like him. A lot of the members are really likable. So, okay, so thinking about yours now. So this is where I was on the fence, because I was thinking it was Felix, but then you also really like to talk a lot about IN and his glow up, and you think I don't know. I knew you were super impressed by that, but yeah, it's like I've heard you fangirl about Felix too many times to not say Felix, so I'm gonna go with Felix. Okay.
You smart lady.
I know you've talked about IN though recently, so that's why I was like,
IN's turning into a bit of a wrecker for me. Okay. But yeah, Felix is number one in my heart because he's just so cute and he's so adorable and he's got all those freckles and he's
and then just serves it. It's like, what is it?
Then like his voice, it's like he's got this cute little face, and then he's like, "Hello, I'm feeling."
That's so awesome. That is such a good impression. Yes, that's 100% what it's like. And I don't know. And
Day.
I love watching videos of people getting wrecked by him too. So it's like kind of like the Jimin thing where people just are blown by what he does. So yeah, if you ever get time, that's a good pastime. Watch people reacting to him in like God's Menu or other
Or his
songs.
just search Felix's voice reactions.
Yeah.
Or voice duality. Okay, next up on the very extensive list, we have the Monster X.
Right.
Both of us are pretty big Monster X fans. And I thought about this a little bit, and I think with Monster X, it's the vocals.
Oh, okay.
That kind of stuff. So I think it's Kyun.
Wow. I was shocked you didn't know this one either.
Really, Mom?
Yeah.
Why am I always surprised? Okay, like tell me.
It's Changhyun. It's I.M.
I am.
Well, I am.
I don't blame you because I.M is amazing.
Right?
So.
No, he was always from this like the start because I don't know. He made me stop to think, and it was weird. It wasn't even in a positive way. I remember feeling like he was low energy, but I loved what he was rapping early on. So I was like, paid a little more attention to him. And then it was like the next comeback after that, he just loosened up somehow or something clicked. And he was absolutely my favorite. But I love his little, like I just said, that I am what I am. I love that line. I love his synergy with Juhan. I don't know. And then this last comeback, okay. Love Killer, like seriously, can we not appreciate that more?
Well, who wouldn't eat me like a main dish?
Yeah. I love that whole like verse. He did so, I don't know, it was just perfect. And his latest solo was really good. So yeah, I adore myself some I.M.
Oh gosh.
So okay. So I am pretty sure I know yours. It's no surprise to me whatsoever. So it's got to be Wonho. I mean, who else could it be? I'm wrong? What?
Wrong.
What?
Juhani Wonho.
Oh no. I was so convinced it's turned to Wonho.
Well, Wonho I appreciate, but like Juhan he's my penchant for deep, gravelly voiced rappers.
Okay.
He is just so cute and so funny when he pouts.
He has a very reverse effect about him.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
the fact he wants to be called Juhani, which I don't know if I'm on board with.
I think from the very beginning, like even in Korea, people had trouble pronouncing his name.
Oh, okay.
Because it's Juhan. But they keep on changing the second syllable all the time, and like even in music shows and like on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
So he's like, okay, let's make it easy for people to say, "Call me honey."
Wow.
And I was like, okay, well, I just love him, and I still love him, and sort of like leading off of what Steph guessed, Wonho is. I have a confession about Wonho.
Okay.
Wonho, I was very late in the game to appreciate. Like, because I've been watching them since they did their debut survival show. And he was just sort of like, oh, he's a nice vocalist and blah, blah, blah. And as they moved on, it's like, oh, he's getting into producing and like he's really great. He's like done some really awesome songs. And he's got this cute little lisp. And oh, he's starting to buff and like starting to work out a lot. So it was just like, oh, he's just like, that's his thing. He's like super buff, super attractive, and he sings really well. And he's just like, yeah, he's like one of the good. He's just like, I just love the group, so he's there. And then the scandal happened, and he had to leave. And I didn't realize how much it affected me. Like, because I was just super sad. I had a hard time listening to Monsta X music for a little while after he had to leave the group. And it was just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to go back. And I was like, why? Like, he's not even like my bias, and like, why am I getting so like sad about this?
Mhm.
But when he came back as a solo artist, and like some of the like emotional, like the vein he's going with, like super powerful R&B and like the dance tracks, everything is just blowing me away. So he is like, as a solo artist, he's becoming one of my favorite solo artists right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a good story. Like there's a lot of times where a member has to leave a group and it's not such a good story at the end of it. So
Yeah.
we're probably very grateful to have him still around. And I do remember the time he started to buff up. We were actually trying to research when this happened because I remember distinctly one day waking up, oh, there's one.
I know.
Like, okay.
It was we feel bad because we can't remember exactly what year, but it was one of those mama performances
Mhm.
where I'm like, Steph, you gotta watch this, and she's like, did you see his butt? And we're sorry, we
I'm
don't
not
mean,
usually like that either.
we're
Sorry.
not usually like this. We see them as human beings first and foremost, and we try not to objectify either men or women. But sometimes you just gotta appreciate all the hard work he put into that. He put in so much work into that, and it's
It's
very
true.
much
Well,
appreciated.
even more so, I feel like now every time I see him, he's like bigger and bigger. And I mean, I guess it just goes to show when he moved on that that's what he really wanted. Like, because I think probably as Monster X, maybe they didn't want him to be as bulky as he was interested in being.
Yeah,
Uh,
the fans gave him a bit of a hard time about it, and he tried to lose a little bit of weight. But
yeah, which I
when
mean,
you have like professional bodybuilders reacting to him and saying this guy is legit,
yeah,
you know he has a passion
good
for
for
health.
him. Like, if that's
Yeah.
what he wants and that makes him happy, I'm all for it.
And
Yeah,
it's working for him.
yeah, exactly.
This is another tough one. So our next group that we're going to talk about is Blackpink. So I'm losing friends points pretty quickly doing this game, so I'm not quite sure about it, but we'll see. We'll see if I can redeem myself later on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking for Blackpink that Steph really appreciates Rose.
You got it this time. So what did you
Proud
think,
of myself.
Rose? What was your thought process?
I was just thinking that she has just such a unique, amazing voice,
Hmm.
and that you really appreciate strong vocalists
Yeah.
and unique vocalists. And she's just so cute. And when she does acoustic, she just like she shines. So I was just thinking it had to be
Yeah.
Rose.
You win. That's totally exactly why I love her. I like there's a lot of moments where acoustically, like she feels like someone I want to just be friends with and jam out with. Like I feel
I know.
like I like playing instruments too. I mean, not very good at it, but I feel like she would be a cool day to just hang out, play some guitar or some piano and just yeah, do a session with. I feel like she'd be super cool. So I do really like her. I love her name too.
No,
I think
exactly.
just her whole thing is very cute. So for you, I had a really guess too. So I was very on the fence. So it's either Lisa for Lisa or Jenny. Because I just feel like they're both like the kind of badass girls and stuff, and Lisa likes that kind of thing. But I think my gut's gonna go with Lisa because she's like the rapper, dancer, just everything. So yeah, okay.
Thumbs up. Good job.
I thought so.
Oh yeah, she's just amazing, and especially all her Lily films.
Okay,
Like
yes.
the stuff she's been putting out with that, she just like those legs,
Yeah, impressive.
and just like I love her voice when she raps, and just like we have the same name, so it's just destiny.
Obviously. So this one's not going to be hard at all. I don't think for either of us actually. So got seven. Well,
The OG of the group
mhm.
that we love.
If I'm wrong, this will be pretty terrible actually. So, I mean, I know you can be 100% confident because of how much I talk. So, I am going to say for Lisa, it is Jackson. And I can't.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay. You know why this one I know? Because at the Got7 concert, I mean, we had a good time. This is our first K-pop concert ever together. And we loved it and had a great time. And we were, well, of course you scream, but I have never heard Lisa scream more loudly than when Jackson's shirt came off in that show. She grabbed my arm and was like, "Stop." I had never seen her so excited by something in my life. So this is why I had to choose Jackson. I was like, I don't understand if it could be anybody else.
He makes me happy. So yeah, so Steph had it. I made it obvious. So good job, good job. And of course, because we've spoken about this next gentleman earlier on in this episode, and he's just boyfriend number 2, yeah. Working his way to boyfriend number 1. He is JB.
Yep, definitely. I also remember that concert, finding it very amusing. We had some girls sitting behind us that also loved JB just as much, but maybe more, because she was crying her eyes out. And every time he came on the stage, she's like, "It's my baby." It's my baby. Yeah, and she was just so taken by the whole thing. So it was pretty amusing. I mean, he was pretty wonderful, but yeah, that was a little next level, I will say that much.
He was pretty dreamy. Yeah.
Always. All right, so that is the end of our list. I think that was a very long list. I apologize, but it was super fun for us, and I hope it was kind of fun for you guys. And maybe you played along a little bit, trying. You should do this with your friends. Actually, I think it's like a fun getting to know each other better kind of thing. I mean, not everyone is probably multi-stands like we are. That was a lot of groups. But
and that wasn't even the whole group, but
the whole list.
It was a lot of fun for us, and like Steph said, we hope it was fun for you guys, and do encourage you to give it a shot yourselves. One last thing before we go, I just wanted to say a word about the Stop Asian Hate movement. So in the last year, we've all seen a terrible increase in hate crimes against the Asian American, Asian Canadian community. And it's due to misinformation and just ignorance. And as an Indigenous Canadian, I just wanted to say that I really sympathize with feeling like your community is calling out for help, but nobody's listening.
Yep.
So I just want to say to everybody that we are showing our support, and we encourage everybody to educate yourself and be an ally and keep the conversation going past the media cycle and past when something more explosive comes up, and just have some courage. And when you are witness to acts of aggression or discrimination, call it out, because it's only when we do that we can put a stop to it.
100%. I'd echo that. Just don't let it happen in front of you, and not say anything, because it's the least that we can do. And I only hope for the future, as you know, I'm planning to marry my fiance, who is Korean, and we want to have children, that I hope that I'm raising them in a place that there's less of this going on in the world, because it's really unfortunate that we're still living with this a lot for so many cultures, not even just for Asia, but for everywhere. Exactly. So yeah, don't be silent, and support. On a more positive note, we appreciate you all tuning in and checking out our episode, and we look forward to hearing from you guys. So who did we miss on our list? Who are we not standing that we should stand, that should have been higher up on our list? And who did we miss out on being our bias? Is there someone that you think you guys are forgetting about this member? What is wrong with you? All up for that conversation.
If there's somebody we're sleeping on, let us know. We are happy to learn more and expand our realm of appreciation.
100%. All right. So thanks again. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tune in next time. All right. Stay safe.
Bye. Bye.